Alright, let's be official here. I have a feeling that this camera is probably giving me too much headroom. But whatever, we'll wing it. Alright, 12:51, November the 1st, it's the first of the month. And I'm going to do another story time. I did one yesterday about how I almost got arrested in Houston, Texas on Halloween in 2008. So if you haven't seen that, watch that video. Here's a story I'm going to tell about. Just had an idea just to do a video. Telling that story was a lot of fun. So I'm going to tell another story. This is the story about how I met Joe Brostowicz and how he became a member of Crack in the Wall in 2009. So basically, the classic lineup, or at least the first classic lineup, which was somewhat the original lineup of Crack in the Wall, was myself, Luke Obermite on guitar, who was the founding guitar player, and Robert McDougall on bass. And we played a bunch of shows, and we made a CD called Satire, which had so far our biggest hit on it, which was Insect God still. We've had a few other hits, but I still think that's basically the Crack at the Wall anthem. And that song is really old. I actually wrote that before I was with Crack in the Wall, before I met Luke. I didn't have a band at the time when I wrote that. I had songs, but I didn't have a band. So that was like the core lineup of Crack in the Wall. And that was from 2006 to 2009. And around 2008, I think it was. Yeah, because I ended up getting my own place. Luke and I lived together for the first three years. I was in Austin, and I got my own place. It was in the projects. It was scary living there. I saw some disturbing things, so I was there. I made sure I signed a 6-month lease, and it was a temporary place to sleep. So I remember when I got this place, Wind River. No, I'm sorry, not Wind River. That's where Luke and I lived. It was Chevy Chase Apartments. I had put up an ad on Craigslist. I was looking for another guitar player for basically a whole new band. But I was looking for another guitar player, and I put down, who I liked and everything. Probably put down influences like, Frank Zappa and the Meat Puppets, and possibly His Name Is Alive, or some obscure stuff that not everybody would know. And I get a reply from, or I get an email from this guy, and he tells me things, and I guess either I gave him my number or he gave me his number, but somehow I got a phone call, and this guy and I were talking, and we're just talking about what we wanted to do, like we were looking to play, and we wanted to do something musically, and I told him about my past history, like, well, I've got this out, I've done, work with Crack in the Wall, and we, I have a catalog of 2 CDs so far, and I have these songs I've written that, I remember showing one of the songs to Luke, or maybe 2 of them. I know I showed at least one of them to Luke, and we worked on it, but Luke moved to San Antonio and just didn't have time for the commute back and forth. And San Antonio is like, I think, an hour and a half from Austin. So, we had to part ways, respectfully. And anyway, Joe, the guy, was calling me. And, he asked who I liked. And like I said, I like Frank Zappa. And he's like, he kind of chuckled. He's like, the Mothers of Invention. Love the Mothers of Invention. It's like, probably the greatest musical genius, I would have to say, is Frank Zappa. I seriously mean that. So we set up a time to get together at Music Lab on Old Torf. And some afternoon, mid-afternoon, I think it was, and this was 2009. And so I show up, and I have my drums and stuff in the back of the car, in the trunk. And I show up, and then I think I call Joe, and I'm like, hey, I'm here, are you... And I don't know what this guy looks like. I've never seen him before. I have no idea what he looks like. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm coming out right now. So I'm outside, and about maybe 10 seconds later, he comes out the door, and I see this very, very young, really young guy, almost a fetus. No, he was really young, and had a mop head, shaggy blonde hair, and I remember when I first saw him, I thought, okay, yeah, this guy's totally not going to work out. And I was being very biased and judgmental at the time, which I shouldn't have been, but it was because he was wearing a System of a Down t-shirt. That's what I thought, because I saw him wearing that. I'm like, oh god, this guy likes awful music. Because I hate System of a Down. I can't stand that band. I don't like them. I can't take a band like that seriously. But I know he's a huge fan. But I'm thinking, okay, well, I already booked the room. We'll try it out anyway. And I'm thinking, at least it'll be a fun thing. You know, at least, you know, I'm trying. And I know that makes me sound like a really bad person, that I was that judgmental on his shirt. But, you know, I was more into stuff like the Meat Puppets. And I found, like, the Meat Puppets more of a respectable band. So we go in and we play. I set up my drums. He has his guitar and his amp. And we just start playing, and I think I think he might have knew some of the Crack in the Wall songs that I showed him on the internet. I think we did Insect God and maybe High Up There. You know, the simple ones. I mean, we had to do Insect God because it was like, that's one that we have to play live. I think there would be a riot if we didn't play that. And I remember showing him some new stuff. I showed him this song called Flowers on the Graves, which was a song that, I think it's the only song that I came up with the drum part first. Usually the lyrics are what I first come up with, because I'm the lyricist in Crack in the Wall. I'm the drummer, but I'm the lyricist. I think that, well, the title was really first, but I wanted to write a goth song, and the goth influence came from going to Elysium so much. Just hanging out, the vibe I got there, and I was all about like going to goth clubs, and I went to goth clubs to meet women, you know, and I met some people there, and there was a couple girls I fell in love with there, so there was that influence of the whole goth thing, and I wanted to have at least one goth song, and we used to play Elysium all the time. John Wickham, who was the owner, was really cool, and was a huge fan of Insect God. He loved Insect God, and that's what got us into Elysium, was that one song. Power of a song, I'll tell you. And so I showed him Flowers on the Graves, and it was so weird. It was magical, actually. I was playing that tribal drum beat that I have in the song, and then he just starts, you know, playing this kind of, I want to say foreboding kind of guitar line over it, and it sounded like very... kind of, no, I don't want to say sinister, but very, I mean, gothic is the only word I can think of. I'm bad with words today. And, it just worked. Like, we had the song just about, and it just worked. And, long story short, my first impression was totally gone, because we had a really good, you know, he had a good audition. I'm thinking, I was so impressed with him in about 20 minutes, or it probably wasn't 20 minutes. But when we went through some of the old songs, and we learned, we were writing Flowers on the Graves, basically I was so impressed with Joe. I was like, dude, welcome to Crack in the Wall. Shook his hand, and he was a member. And was on board with the band for about 3 years. We did one record together. We did a record in 2009. Called And the World Turns When the Toast Burns, and it was the third Crack in the Wall release. And actually, you can hear it in its entirety on YouTube if you type in the whole thing. And the world turns when the toast burns. The whole EP is on. You can hear it for free. And if you want to buy a copy, and I have friends of mine that, thank you, I have friends of mine that's probably LC right there. Let me see if that's LC. It is LC. Anyway, if you do want to buy a copy, because like I was saying, I have friends that do demand that they buy stuff. Like I was hanging out with Anthony last night. He wanted to buy the DVD. Video archive is back in print. I'm still making some more. I have some people that want to get a copy, and I sold one to my friend Juan, and I've got a couple friends. I know I've got Rob Nash and Andrea Menzies, and they're next in line to get one. So that DVD is in print. So basically, in a nutshell, if you want to buy anything, you can from me. Just contact me on YouTube or Facebook or however. I would sell it online at the store, but I can't figure out how the Wix website works. I'm very internet illiterate or computer illiterate, and if I had the money, I would get a real domain name like crackedwall.com or something, as cheesy as that domain name sounds. And Joe Brostowicz and I, we've had a lot of time together. We were in the band, and we played a lot. And it got to the point, like around 2010, it was the lineup was myself, Joe Brostowicz, Lance Cook, and She Who Must Not Be Named. And the people watching this, Lance and Joe, know why she must not be named. We were playing a lot of places at this bar, which had some history to it, called Poodle Dog Lounge. We got to the point we were playing like about 4 nights a month there, and wasn't a paying gig. They wouldn't pay you, and you had to have your own PA there. They weren't set up very well. They weren't, the owner didn't really know what it was really like to be a musician, so he wouldn't pay you and he wouldn't provide the PA. But fortunately, She Who Must Not Be Named, it's like Voldemort, you say you know who, you don't name it, had a PA, so we were using her PA. And we were playing so much, but we weren't writing anything new. We had some new stuff we had done, and we were playing the entire World Turns EP, played most of Satire, the first EP, and it was just everybody was getting so burnt out of it, and we didn't want to turn down shows. We would get offered shows there all the time, and shows from other places. I remember Plush, somebody from Plush had contacted us, and of course, that's on Red River. It's a little down the ways from Elysium and the Red-Eyed Fly. If you're in Austin, you know what I'm talking about. So basically, we had gotten all these shows offered, and it just really took a toll on Joe. And me too. We were just burnt out. We were playing the same damn songs over and over again. Nothing new. And Joe's just like, he got burnt out, and he's like, sent me an email and said, "Hey, sorry, man. I'm leaving Crack in the Wall. Thanks for all the memories. I had a great time." And that was a bit shocking. I wasn't expecting it, but that's what happens. I can't say I blame him for that, because we were burnt out, and Lance was keeping busy playing with other people. He was playing with a couple other people. And then so that was the end of Joe and Crack in the Wall for that part. And then shortly after that, I had Joe stay with me, and he was my roommate for a while. And Joe was making a bunch of video projects, which is what he does a lot of. And I think that's his true passion. I mean, music is his love, but video projects are his passion. And he helped create the Sting of the Bee music video. It was the very first music video Crack in the Wall ever did, and that's on the Video Archive DVD. So those who want to purchase a copy, you'll see that on the DVD. And So yeah, Joe and I lived together, and that was fun. And so to make a long story boring, that was basically my tribute to Joe Brostowicz. Just randomly just was thinking about him and thought he might appreciate this video, and thought some of the fans or my friends, the Crack in the Wall fans, might want some history of the band, of how Joe and I met. And Joe and I are very close still. I still try to contact him, and he'll contact me whenever he has a new song by his project Stellar Weather. And I like what he does a lot. Stuff's pretty cool. And there's a music video on my channel. Check it out. A song called Glue that he did. It's really good. It looks like a kind of a cheesy, and I mean cheesy in a good way, but cheesy 80s MTV type video. And I really like the, it's green screen effect. And we were messing around with green screen. We went to like what was that place? Michael's or something, or Hobby Lobby, and we got this green, what was it, like velvet or something, to make a green screen to make videos. So that is the story of Joe Brostowicz and myself. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't know what the next video is. This was just something I had a whim on. I think I thought about it last night, or I think it was last night I thought about doing a little story of Joe Brostowicz. Joe, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are because I know you're subscribed, and you demanded a coffee after you subscribed to me. Remember that? You're like, you owe me a coffee now. Actually, coffee sounds really good right about now. Is there Starbucks around here? No? Okay. But hopefully, Joe, you and I will see each other pretty soon. If I get some free time, we'll make a trip to Houston, and maybe we'll make a video project or whatever. We'll hang out. We'll get some dinner. We'd love to hang out with you again. It's been way too long, and you will always be, as far as I'm concerned, a key member of Crack in the Wall in the past. You were definitely a very important figure, and you were a great songwriter, and I think the guitar that you wrote on "And the World Turns When the Toast Burns" is golden. So, Joe Brostowicz, thanks for being a part of my life and being in Crack in the Wall. You are golden. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day. It's the first of the month. And, well, it looks like there's some people coming out today. I will see you on YouTube with another video very shortly. Probably, I'm writing a new song with a guy named Brandon Barnes. The song has no title yet, but I've got lyrics. Usually I have the title pretty quickly, but this one I can't think of a good title. I like the lyrics so far. Can't quite explain what they're about right now, because I just wrote it. I don't want to give anything away because it's a new song. So Sunday, him and I are supposed to do some music. I might be going to San Marcos with my kindergarten friend Anthony Zuniga to a games convention or something like that. I'm not really sure. It's some gamers lounge in San Marcos. That may or may not happen on Saturday. Hopefully I'll have some video for you if my flip cam will cooperate, which it about 7 times out of 10 it cooperates. So sorry for all the rambling. Have a good day, everybody. I will see you later on YouTube, probably in a few days. Alright, later, everybody. God bless.